You're listening to The Front Porch Show. Some shows are niche shows, talking about specific topics. Others, shows about nothing. This show is the show about everything. On The Front Porch Show, we'll talk about current events, some news, a little bit of politics, along with a whole lot of life. Welcome to Our Front Porch. 1-402-799-1811. That is the message line number. Ozzy, that's a fantastic message to your mom there. Hi, Mom. I'm on the radio. I'm on TV. I'm on YouTube. Does that make it any better? Does it make it any better that you're on YouTube? Probably not.
Do you remember, do they still do that thing with Good Morning America where everybody stands there and they're like, it's my mother's 158th birthday
Yes.
and we came here with her to stand in the cold and try to kill her.
Try to get her
Just to see.
try to get
What's
her
that
the,
guy's name?
trying to get her with the Rona.
In the 2020 iteration, you're killing her with the Corona, but they're probably not doing it. They're probably not doing it now because Corona. Corona has ruined everything sweet and pure and good about America that Trump didn't already ruin.
Whoa!
Wow! Jump right in there.
Wow! Oh!
Here we go. Happy Memorial Day.
Wow! That was a shot in the.
I went ahead and just took the turn. It was right there. I just took that left turn. I said, "Oh, we're doing it." It's like the meme, like the road sign. Perfectly good, wholesome podcast and a right turn to political hellscape. And I took the right turn.
So as you can hear, we do have Tombstone with us today. And
I'm already
Ozzy.
messing things up. I've only been on for 25 seconds, and here we go.
We've got Ozzy. We've got Tombstone. We've got myself.
Yeah, it was like
I couldn't remember who was here. Jeff has abandoned us. It is Memorial Day. It is a live episode. This is new to us, and we did have technical difficulties. I still don't know what happened, Tombstone, other than legalize reality. Our reality. Legalize our reality. We had some weird technical difficulties with getting the YouTube stream up and running. For some reason, if I just clicked on it multiple times, it worked. Like, I just kept clicking on it, and it finally worked one time.
I mean, that's what I do at work whenever those computers get slow. You just keep clicking.
Yeah, but you guys are still using DOS.
I'm trying to get a grip of what's going on with my hair. Are you guys using AS400 at work, Ben?
Yeah.
Wait,
Oh
what?
gosh.
I don't know.
Do you use a mainframe? Do you use a mainframe terminal for inventory checks?
Yes. I don't know what it is though.
It's probably called an AS400 because that's what everybody used.
Probably is. It is a DOS system of some type.
Oh goodness. I mean, that's what we used at Staples 10, 12, 15 years ago. Yeah. But the reason people use them is because they work.
I mean,
kind of.
It works.
It doesn't have a cool GUI interface though.
GUIs are for weaklings. Only this in the CLI land, only the strong survive.
It's true.
Oh,
I remember when we had a DOS system with the floppy disks.
Oh yeah.
I remember those black floppy disks. They were, or whatever they.
It was a floppy disk.
Yeah, the black ones.
The big ones or the little ones?
Okay, so since
okay, good.
Since we're on this topic, and the internet has made a larger impact in our lives than I'd care to think about. Oh, something did bite me yesterday. What is your?
How big was it?
I don't know. It was inside my motorcycle jacket, so I never saw it.
Oh my goodness!
It bit me on the elbow, and then I crunched it and shook it out. So.
Whoa! Whoa!
Was it like a mouse?
No, it was probably a wasp or a bee.
Oh, okay, yeah, just a wasp.
So then it would have stung you, not bit you.
No.
I mean,
this
it's
one was
the same thing.
This one was vendetta. It was like, I'm gonna bite this dude.
It's like he's not worth dying over it.
Right?
No, I was writing. Okay. Can I rant for a minute?
Okay. Of course you can.
Right,
of
so
course.
I left yesterday morning because I occasionally dabble in heathenism. I skipped church and I rode the motorcycle on Sunday morning, and I left the house at 7:30 and I rode about 2.5 hours away.
I occasionally dabble in heathenism.
And don't we all?
I'm pretty sure that's the name of the episode.
Oh. Yes.
Dabbling in heathenism.
Yes, write it down.
That's my primary purpose in this organization is providing show titles, right?
It
So
is.
I'm on target. I'm on target for today.
Success.
Yes, we're doing
So,
great.
anyways, I left the house at 7:30. I rode up to North Carolina to a place called Judaculla Rock, which is a petroglyph. It's an Indian petroglyph sitting in a cow pasture up there. It's really cool. It's about 12 feet wide.
What is a petroglyph?
It's a glyph with petros in it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Oh,
It's a rock carving.
and cows.
Yeah, and there's cows next to it. It's not actually in the cow pasture. They fenced it off, but it's in what used to be a cow pasture.
And what is it called?
Judaculla Rock.
Judaculla
You can Google it.
Rock. Well, I'm trying to get an idea of what this is so that our YouTube
You don't trust
what?
my
No. I'm
my
grabbing.
description.
Oh, it's not Judah Color. It's Judacolor.
Yeah, Judaculla.
Judaculla.
I'm
Can I get a holla?
I'm bringing it up here for our YouTube watchers.
Oh, it's a rock that somebody.
Oh well, isn't that nice? There's a little walking path around it so that you can look
Yeah.
at it.
I
Okay,
literally
so-
just
So what is
said
this
it's a
like?
rock.
What is
This
this?
is like a rock that people like use chalk on. Like some kids got some good ideas and chalk. it.
no,
That's
no,
kinda
Ben.
what it looks like.
It was been carved on by Indians at some point in history.
Ah,
Okay, well, that's cool.
So
Is it just one rock or
Anyways.
multiple rocks?
it's just one rock there,
Apparently, there's some significance
but it's a
about
pretty
this
big
rock.
one. Yes,
that's
you
pretty
can
cool.
you can read about it. Nobody really knows what all's going on with it.
Well,
Yeah. Anyways, so I rode up there and I came back, and as I'm coming home, as soon as I got on 64, Highway 64, North Carolina, which is quite fairly remote, I was in traffic from there all the way home. I was in traffic. It was a little bit crazy because people go to the mountains in the summertime. Why, I don't know, but they do. So,
because it's cooler, Tombstone.
but I prefer riding the motorcycle in the winter for this exact reason, because you don't get stuck behind tourists and Harley Davidson riders.
Oh yeah.
What do you have against Harley riders?
They're slow.
Oh.
Hmm.
Harleys are not designed to ride in the mountains. They're designed to ride in, say, Nebraska
Okay.
or the Low Country or anywhere besides in front of me.
He's offending half of our audience here, and he's
How do you know?
he's stereotyping. Continue,
Forbid.
Tombstone. Continue.
It really is a question
So
of
if-
teleology. Harleys are not designed to go fast through the corners and mountains. They're just not.
So did you write an Indian to this?
No, I rode my
To this
Suzuki.
rock? Oh.
I can send you a picture.
So you don't want to? You're not up for riding an Indian motorcycle too?
I can't afford an Indian, honestly.
They're so cool.
Okay, they are a
I am-
nice
I am
motorcycle.
not gonna
Indian
lie.
does make a couple motorcycles that I
Oh,
like.
man.
And actually, to be totally fair, Harley Davidson is working on some motorcycles that I really like and would not mind owning and or riding. But
You don't want to be slow.
but I'm not gonna. Well, it's really not a question of horsepower. It's a question of ride geometry and where your legs sit on the machine, all this stuff. Like a Harley Cruiser is basically it's a pontoon boat on wheels. It's huge and heavy. So they have enough juice, but they're hard to ride fast because of the way they're set up. Does that make sense?
Hence the cruiser. part.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with cruisers.
It's like the
I
difference
would never own
between
one.
the difference between a road bike and cruising. Can you triathlon, but one is way more fun.
Say that one more time, Ben. I lost you to the first half of that statement. Did
It's
you
like-
lose him, Aaron?
I did,
It's like a
but that's
road-
okay.
A road bike and a cruising bike.
Yes.
You can use both for a triathlon.
Yes.
but
You're gonna
one's
work a lot harder on the
Right.
second one.
Did
Yeah.
you? By the way, did you know that hippos can run faster and swim faster than humans? Which means that if
Yes.
you were going to beat a hippo in a triathlon, you have to do it on the bike.
Wow.
I love it. Okay, can we pivot and talk about triathlons for a minute?
We can talk about whatever you want, Tombstone.
All right.
This is your segment,
I'm-
apparently.
I'm so happy you're indulging me. It brings me joy. It sparks joy. All right, so Ben, my wife and I.
You're not
have
gonna
talked
Maria
about-
Kondo this segment
I'm gonna do it.
because apparently the show sparks joy.
You all spark joy.
Yes, we're in. We're
mean,
not
this is
getting
what-
trashed.
This is what happens when you leave the show for a month. You come back and you have all the things to say.
I
So
know.
Ben,
It's all right. Let's
my
go.
wife and I are talked about doing the Lake Logan triathlon again this year.
Okay.
I mean, I did it 2 years ago. She's never done it.
Yeah.
This was that triathlon you came in last, right?
Almost last, second to last.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thanks for
You're-
that. Why don't
you're
you give me a
welcome.
nice paper cut and pour lemon juice on it?
I'm just
Listen,
bringing you back
listen.
to reality, buddy.
Listen, what triathlon did you come in and actually place, Aaron?
The it would be the
Yeah.
front porch
Listen,
0.5K.
We couldn't even get that going.
Yeah, the Rona got us. The Rona got
I
us.
love how that.
Wait, what was it we were trying to do?
It was the Tour de Front Porch, the front porch 0.5K.
Yes.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right.
The
That's
Rona
right.
got
I love
us.
how he's claiming that the Ronas is totally.
We were
what threw
supposed to
that
do
off.
it in May, and it just didn't. It couldn't come to fruition because
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
So Ben, if I'm gonna do this thing, I need to actually start training for it, and I'm dreading it because
When is this?
this is in the first week of August.
You know what? I'll come do it with you.
Do you really want to?
Sure.
It's in North Carolina. It's a long drive.
I got vacation time.
I mean, I would be tickled. I would be
Listen,
absolutely tickled if you came down.
I'm not sure if my triathlons are going to actually be happening. I
When-
know they
what-
canceled.
When's the date of this? Because I might come to video this.
I know they
August 1st, I
canceled-
think.
I know they canceled the triathlon for the one where they jump off the ferry, which is terribly sad. That was supposed to be like June, like beginning of June. So, like, yeah, their stuff up here is just biting the dust.
So-
left and right.
So it's still on. It's still on. It hasn't. They haven't taken down the registration page, so I assume it's still scheduled. So I haven't heard otherwise. I might send them an email before you make your plans, definitely. But I can
Now,
tell you it will be
which-
cold.
Which one are you doing?
So last year and the year before, they did an aqua bike,
Yeah. Okay.
What is
but I don't
that?
think they're doing the aqua bike this year. I think it's sprint triathlon or nothing. I'm not in good enough
Well, I
shape to
see-
do anything but a sprint.
Let's see. Lake Logan.
But I have no idea how my pool's not open, so I have no idea how I'm going to get ready for the swimming portion.
How long's the swimming portion?
Hang on, I'll tell you. I think it's 700 meters.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not too bad. The thing that I found with swimming is because we did ocean swimming, and I used to go out like once a week. I would go out with my tri club, and then we would go out and do ocean swimming, which I haven't done in
You
years.
had a club?
Yeah.
Dude, I would love to be part of a triathlon.
Yeah, they
club.
got we got tri clubs all over down here.
I just can't run. That's the problem.
It's like a really big thing. I hate running.
Okay, it's 500 meters, not 700
Yeah,
meters.
but the thing that I found when I actually did the sprint was by
Mm-hmm.
the time I got used to the water and like got my breathing down, it was the end and I was basically out of the water.
That's not been my experience.
Because by the time I hit the water and then like you hit the water and then you start going, but it takes time for you to get like your heart to get beating the right, you know what I mean? Like get into it and everything and get your timing down. And yeah, I was literally out of the water by the time I got into that.
Do you have a wetsuit?
I do, yeah.
You'll
Actually,
probably acclimate faster
I
if you
have two
if you-
wetsuits.
if you get rid of the wetsuit. You'll probably acclimate faster.
Maybe.
I'm only basing that on my singular experience
Maybe.
racing. The water was
It's-
65 degrees when I swam it,
The thing is with it,
and I
it's the
swam
same,
it without a suit because
it's the same thing
I don't
with
do
running.
suits.
It's the same
'Cause
thing
I'm
with
a
running. It's
man.
when you run.
I'm a poor man.
It's like the same thing when you run when you're running. Like the first like 5 minutes is killer, and
Mhm.
then you get into that rhythm and your breathing gets down, and you know it's the same thing. It just in the water. It just took me a really long time, and I was like, it took me a while.
So my problem
wasn't
here
really worried
is that
about that.
I am not going to train for a 5K in the next 2 months
why not?
So you're
Because-
gonna end up
because-
in last.
because I'm going to have my hands full doing the biking and swimming. It'll probably be more
Two or
like
three.
I will do. I just won't care. I'll just decide not to care about the running portion, and
Oh,
it's not like you're the physical last person out there. I was the last person in my division.
yeah.
Like there were tons of women behind me, so even as I finished last to the male segment. So
I was in like the top 40% of my division, 50%, which is not, and I'm not fast.
So Ben, I don't know if you were around, but I actually scored really well in the swimming, and I scored fair to middling in the cycling, and then I died in the running. So I was just gonna do the aqua bike, but I don't think they're offering it. So
the running is killer.
I have
especially
to
when
I'll
you
have to suck
like,
it up.
especially when you have like some fat lady next to you who's like outrunning you, and you're just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
how is this even possible?
Oh yeah.
Hey, hey, that happens sometimes.
Or
they get
even
after
worse, even worse, so that way people don't come after me, is kids. Kids are the ones that really annoyed me.
Mm-hmm.
Is like you have that 13-year-old kid who woke up like yesterday and was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna do this, and then
I'm
went
gonna go
there
run
today
a triathlon.
and did the entire thing without any training at all on his BMX bike.
I hate those people, and I just have to take a minute and thank the Lord that I'm able to do what I'm able to do, and just keep on doing my thing.
Yeah, I was looking for sticks so I could trip them up, but
Oh man,
that's just me.
Oh my goodness. He's like,
there aren't a lot.
here's
on the
a
beach.
tire in your spoke.
Sucker.
I will beat you. That's terrible. Wow.
I did feel really good on the bike though, because I kept passing people. It made me feel really good, and then they all passed me on the run. It was bad. So, like I said, Hippo, man, that's where you beat him. Is on the bike.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I get that, and I really enjoy riding. I did, even with very minimal training, I did better on the bicycling than I did on the running. So
the riding is great. How fast do you go? And what's the terrain like for the ride? Is it mainly just flat?
Oh wait, no, they do. There is a sprint aqua bike still. Okay, I can do it. It's on a Sunday, August 2nd, Ben.
Sunday, August 2nd.
Again, dabbling in heathenism.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know, Tombstone. With all the churches doing live stream, you could have done both yesterday.
My church was live streaming, but I have no cell signal. I could have like put my cell phone on the bike on the handlebars because I have a clamp, but I don't think I would have had streaming ability for most of the ride because I'm on Sprint now, and there is no Sprint signal outside of Greenville County. It does not exist.
It's true.
So
I heard I was reading this Facebook post, and I could not verify it because I couldn't find the article, but apparently they were saying that
yes, non-verified stories being shared on the Front Bar Show.
It was something like
I feel like we literally just had a conversation about this.
We did.
Yes. So it was saying how that I think it was like 40% or 30 something percent of people who go to church are watching their church regularly online. And then I think it was something like 40 or 48% have not watched their live stream of church or any other type of church since the virus started.
Wow.
That doesn't actually surprise me at all because I mean the whole point of church is you actually go to church.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm not surprised. Our own live stream attendance has been extremely spotty because even if you start, it's very hard to finish when you have two small children who have nowhere to be except in the living room in front of the television.
Yes.
And bouncing around and dancing and annoying each other and pulling each other's hair.
So while our live stream attendance is lower, I think it may be higher than that 40%.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think I mentioned to you, Ozzy, some interesting statistics the other day. That when it comes to church attendance, back 10 years ago, it was like people normally attended like an average of 3 services a month, and now it's down to 1.3 or something. 1.3 services a month, which
that's crazy.
Points to like a lot of people just aren't going anymore, or aren't attending quote unquote regularly. I mean, I guess the definition of regular attendance has moved or changed. But that being said, so us and our crew yesterday, we watched 5 different church services. So
I'm so
confused. But how many of those were you actually part of?
What do you mean?
Weren't you in some of those church services?
I'm
well,
confused.
so right, so we our own church, we did.
Yeah.
Well, we're not attending in person right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that.
We're still
You're going
online.
after Tombstone for hedonism.
No.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
There's
but
no
we-
question that Aaron is a better Christian than I am.
we
but
watched-
I'm not even gonna debate that.
we
point.
watched 4 other church services in addition to ours. So
I just
You
sent
just
you guys a
wanted-
picture of what it looks like when we have morning worship at our house when we're
just-
live streaming.
You just wanted to be holier than thou today. Is that why you went for 4?
no, we normally we normally dabble after we're done. After we're done with our own church service, we start skipping
Wait,
around and
what do
listening
you-
to
Wait,
watching
wait,
other
what do you-
services.
Okay, what type of services are you watching? Are you watching like Benny Hinn?
Oh,
trying to
no,
heal
no,
people,
no.
Or what are we doing?
No, honestly, I tried to join Osteen,
Oh my!
because
You
as-
wanted to feel good about yourself.
well, as far as production value, he puts on a really good production.
does.
So
does.
so
Especially being in a
yes.
stadium.
I know, right? And
Is
so
he still preaching from the stadium?
Yes,
Or
yeah.
is he like given that up for the moment and is
well,
you know?
I don't know if they're actually meeting in the stadium. I'm not
I
sure.
can't think why that would be
So
okay
we-
and nobody's freaked out about
Right.
it.
Well,
so
we
I'm
tried to
assuming they're not.
log in, and it said that the stream was private on YouTube, and we couldn't log into it. So that was kind of
Oh.
a bummer. So we went to a different church. We're like, fine, we'll go to a different church.
So what else did you go to?
We did we do life dot church. Is that what it's Life Church out of Kansas City, I think.
Sure.
We'll also do Elevation. That's Furtick.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah.
Whoa, no. Never
Um,
mind.
What's
No.
that? Okay,
I have,
so
I have strong feelings about Stephen Furtick.
so we,
I
I think he's a
strong
weird. I think
feelings-
he's a weird dude. I think he's a
I
very
have
weird
strong
dude.
feelings about him, but I don't want to mention.
I think
them.
he's a very weird dude. But
I should
leave it.
probably I should probably avoid prevaricating.
We'll leave it there.
Yeah, he's got some
Um,
okay stuff.
So as far as he's an odd duck.
Yeah.
He's very so okay, so
I love how we're not going to talk
I know,
about it.
I
It
know.
starts going off.
so okay, someone
take it off.
someone
take it offline.
someone locally went to college with him and says he's nothing like he was in college.
Isn't he?
And he
isn't
was
that
actually
in,
really nerdy.
Isn't
in
he a
college.
Greenville guy or something? Isn't
He's
Uh,
in,
yeah.
He's in
Greenville?
no, he's in Rock Hill.
Well,
Okay.
he grew up in Monk's Corner. In
That's not anywhere close to Greenville.
I know way too much about this guy.
I looked him up last week because I was totally stalking him. Because I'm perplexed by his ability to hold an audience. Because he's
Okay.
a very weird dude who goes off on these weird tangents
Yeah.
and says just weird stuff.
Yes.
But then when he's preaching, he's fairly solid. When he's actually
Yeah.
expositing.
Y'all
Yeah.
just make it stop.
It's interesting. It's very interesting.
All right, where else can we go in this first segment?
I don't know. We could go to break and then come back with some politics if you really
Are we-
want to.
Are we still on Tombstone's rant? I think we're on Aaron's rant now.
Oh no, I'm not ranting. I'm just discussing. I think it's a fun time that we're in so that we can go and visit a lot of different weird places and yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun
All
to
right.
stream other
All right,
churches.
take us out so we can get
Yeah,
back.
well,
We need to regroup here.
We'll be right
We're-
back.
We're losing people. Our one watcher is gone.
Yeah. Why are you logged into YouTube?
Forgot I probably shouldn't dance since we're live streaming.
Must have been a bad batch around here because Floyd County's went crazy in the last 4 days. When I finally got down here to the house to look see what happened, the door was standing wide open. It looked like he was packing up for a yard sale when he come out. He was lying, throwing his hands, saying stuff like, I didn't do it, you know how rogues do, and blaming on everybody else. He did pull a gun on me when I got back around the house because I guess he thought I was upset with him. Who steals a cheese grater? He's got the works, Lysol. He stole an empty bottle of spray. What got me the most was my soap. He stole my soap. Who steals soap?
I don't know what that has to do with our next topic.
Who stole your soap, Aaron?
Ooh, I did not know that broke down there. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Who stole my soap? Who stole my soap?
I mean, presumably it'd be one of your children.
Oh, children.
Yeah.
You can't have nothing.
My
Dude,
kids aren't
seriously.
tall enough to move
You
my
just-
soap yet, but I'm sure they will.
You just can't have it. How
is
are they not
actually-
tall enough to move the soap yet?
That
I
is
mean,
why we went with
Because well, the stuff in the shower stays up on in the caddy, and the stuff on the sink they don't bother for some reason. So
you're lucky.
see, I'll like
Now,
walk into the bathroom and my
Johanna,
I'll walk
other
in the
than
bathroom and
Johanna
my
squirting all of the soap into her hand at once.
Yeah, well,
other than
yeah.
that, we
Oh,
don't have a
yeah.
problem.
because that's how you
Oh,
get clean.
yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
that's how
I'll
you get
walk
really
in-
super squeaky clean.
I'll walk into the bathroom and find the 2-year-old up on top of the sink,
And
like,
you also find an
washing
inch of
his
water in the
entire
floor.
body in the
Yes.
sink.
Yes.
And I'm like, we have
I
a bath
had
for
to-
that.
I had to rescue one of my sons because he slipped on top of the sink and fell in and couldn't get out.
Hashtag.
It
That's
was
dad life.
amazing.
it was hilarious. And I'm
That's
Hashtag.
amazing.
like,
My
and yeah,
cousin texted me yesterday. He said it was the first time he got puked on so much that he had to take a shower afterwards.
Ooh,
Mm-mm.
yeah.
Mm-mm, I don't do
Yeah,
bodily
that's bad,
fluids.
too.
Yeah,
That's
me
bad,
neither.
too.
Mm-mm.
We found out that my son is allergic to peanut butter,
Oh
Ooh,
no.
that's-
so we
stinks.
can't give him peanut butter anymore.
Oh no.
At least not till we figure out if he really is allergic. We think he's allergic because he's been throwing up if we feed him peanut butter.
Oh,
so
weird.
Yikes.
yeah.
Well, I
no
mean, I
bueno.
guess throwing up is better than anaphylactic shock.
It is
Yeah,
better
right.
than anaphylactic shock, but apparently that can be a precursor to developing a more severe reaction. So we're not feeding him peanut butter right now until we get him
Fascinating.
looked at.
My kids go through the peanut butter test really early because of my other kids.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like I think Ethan he was with peanut butter like we knew probably by 6 months because he had peanut butter because of the kids.
Oh yeah. Our
Yeah, it's
Tre-
like
Trevor last night during his prayers thanked God for his peanut butter sandwiches.
That's right.
He was
Yeah.
like,
Trevor,
I was like, Trevor, thanks, man. You're a
Trevor
good-
knows what's
good
up.
kid.
that's great.
So
That's great.
so we're sitting there last night doing prayers and everything, and you know we all gather around as a family and we all pray together, and everyone prays. And Trevor, you know, a couple months ago decided he wanted to pray. He's two and a half now, I think, and decided he wanted to pray too, so he's joined in. And well, Myron is at the phase now where he isn't actually thinking about what he's praying. He just kind of just mumbling something and rolling through it. He's four and a half now, and isn't really thinking about what he's praying. And well, he'll pray the same exact thing as the person before him, or you know, he'll just make something up.
So
Never actually
basically he's the Bob Jones prayer group. or
Pretty
prayer
much,
meeting that we
pretty
had to do
much.
on Wednesday
Oh my
nights.
goodness. Oh my goodness.
Pretty
Don't
much.
even get me started.
Tombstone, you
I'm
didn't live in the
having-
dorms. Don't
I'm
even
You
worry
were
about
in
it.
flashbacks.
county, man.
I still attended prayer groups and they were all awful, except for Aaron's. Aaron's was always good.
Ours was solid. Granted,
Yeah.
we may not have had ours most nights.
Mm.
That's why it was
Well,
excellent,
That's why.
because we were focused on personal development, not rote spiritualism.
How's
Anyways.
that
That's why
pan
you
out
like
for you?
no.
It's why I'm willing to defend Furtick against you two.
Oh man. Oh man. Well, there's a reason I tell people that I'm religious but not spiritual, but we'll get to that later.
You're a spiritualist, not religious. Wait, what?
No. I said I'm religious
Oh.
but not spiritual.
Oh.
That's not actually true, but
Oh yeah.
sometimes it throws people for a loop, which is always funny.
You're whitewashing your tomb, eh?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, it's
Easy there,
better to-
Ozzy. Easy.
Better to be hot or cold than lukewarm.
It's true.
He's
It's
like,
true.
I'm gonna be cold.
It's just something. All right.
Remember,
on that happy
delving into
note-
heathenism. Um,
On that happy note,
so guys,
Where are we going?
no, so you, Ozzy, you mentioned that the dating culture has changed dramatically since this whole COVID thing started.
Yes. Okay.
What is
so,
going on?
All right.
I mean, Ozzy, how recently have you been dating? Are
Yeah,
you
how
still
much
in
has
the
it
dating
changed for
pool?
you, Ozzy?
Does your wife know about this?
My-
Like, what's the situation?
My wife will
She
not
does
allow
now.
me to date, so
That's not-
Speaking of dabbling in heathenism,
oh goodness.
oh gosh. Anyway, so this is an article from
just to be clear,
New York-
she does not allow you to date.
She does
Does
not. allow me to
not.
date.
Does not.
No, she
Does
does
I
not.
mean, do you still occasionally go on dates with your wife?
Not really, especially
Oh.
since the
4
COVID.
kids, I mean.
Listen, all of my date nights got canceled and moved to a year later because we couldn't attend Michael Bublé because of the stupid Ronas. So
Well, yeah, well, guys, you're running after me over Furtick, and you're going to visit Bublé?
yeah.
Bublé is not a
He's-
sheep in wolf's clothing or a
Oh,
sheep's
my
clothing or whichever it
goodness.
is.
Oh my goodness.
Exactly. All right. Anyway,
Moving on.
so moving on, and it wasn't on a Sunday either.
Oh.
That makes it okay. All right. So I was reading an article that popped up on my news feed for some reason. Apparently the New York Post thinks that, or Facebook thinks I need to like the New York Post. So some of the stuff I was reading on this was, here we go. Ready? 42% for stats. This is how COVID-19 has changed the dating game. So 42% of people in relationships not quarantining with their partners have downloaded a dating app.
I'm gonna get ahead of this really quick and say the entire extent of my interest in this topic is ha ha ha. I'm so glad that's not me.
All right.
And I just realized, like, I mean, does our audience even care about this? This
You
would
know
have been I don't know. Do we have?
I don't know.
Are they all old
We have
married people like us?
no.
Listen,
We have
listen,
single
what
people listening.
What articles?
And
did
we're
you
fascinated
contribute
by
to
it.
this week?
Ah.
We're fascinated by it
Ouch.
too.
I mean, I am vaguely interested in it because I like people to get married and have babies and be happy. But
I just found these statistics interesting that this is the way that dating has gone, and I don't think that this is anything that's per se new news or interesting news. As far as I think this would have happened whether any time that there is like a I don't know what I'm trying to
disruptive
say.
event.
Right. That this is the natural cause and effect of how the dating game is now. But 52% have signed up for a dating website.
As in 52% of the eligible population, or 52% of the population, because that's terrifying.
This is 50% of the people not with their significant.
Not
Significant other
not with their
during-
significant other. Okay.
So, which I can't. I'm terrible by this because this is all we're teaching kids now is, hey, you know what? Get into a relationship breakup. Why is this any big surprise? It's just these are the statistics that are showing that the realization isn't coming in and people are like shocked at this. And it's like, well, you're teaching, years old is to get a girlfriend or get a boyfriend and then they break up. So, but I just thought the statistics are rather interesting.
I have a question for you guys.
Yes. You've ruined it.
No,
It's
you were breaking up anyways. Your voice was breaking up. How young is too young to date?
It depends on the kid.
Ozzy's got
Is that
an
a cop
answer.
out? Is that a cop out answer? I mean, I can give you like an absolute threshold. I would say it's like
30.
16.
Are you ready? You ready? Here you go.
Hit it.
Too young is not ready to get married.
I don't 100% agree.
I
And that also
I
depends
used to
on-
agree with Ozzy.
This
But
also
I
depends on-
sympathize with the sentiment. I don't
Okay,
think it's
hold on.
wrong necessarily, but I think it varies on a case by case
Hold on,
basis.
let me qualify this a little bit more.
Postulate your
Are we
place.
talking about dating as in going out with someone from the opposite sex and just going and doing something with other people? Or are we talking about being exclusive with someone? Because
I think it is possible that the idea of dating not exclusively is not practical, and again, it really depends on the person. I mean, my sister and her husband, they weren't like dating, like they weren't allowed to go out by themselves, but they started seeing each other and being together when they were, I think, 16. So maybe 17. And where'd Ben go?
I just spilled coffee on my keyboard.
But
Oh,
I mean,
no.
my sister did that, and it was carefully monitored and managed by my parents. But I would have been dumb for me to do that. So
yeah,
it just depends. I think it really depends.
See, and I think that depends on how your view of dating is and how you are brought up by dating and the influence of culture on dating to being what it is today, which I think is a huge offshoot of why we have so many problems, so many breakups, so many divorces.
Like I would say my sister and her husband, their relationship really looks more like a traditional courtship than anything else. They didn't call it that. Nobody would have called it that. But that's, from my impression, that's basically what it was.
Right. But yeah. Anyway.
There's a lot of I really think there's a lot of flexibility in it, and it really depends on
I think the problem is
the people in question.
The exclusivity, because I don't think that you have the right to be exclusive until you are married, because you do not belong to that other person.
Well, hold on.
Contract.
Back that up. You don't think you have the right to be exclusive until you're married? So you can be dating until you're married?
Sure.
You can be
not?
dating other people until you're.
I have to admit,
listen,
this is not the take I expected from Orthodox Presbyterian Church Ben.
Wow.
Listen,
wow.
This is what I'm saying, is that until you have a ring on your finger, that person does not have any right to you, and you have no right to that person.
As a single man, that was my view.
That's
like,
why I'm saying.
As a single man pursuing
that's why I'm saying
for dates.
The exclusivity, you have to be careful, because until you actually are in a binding contract, which I would say binding contract not as in binding contract of a physical contract,
Aaron,
contract under God.
You think I'm patriarchal?
That you have no right to that person.
No, I'm seriously, I'm fascinated by the conversation.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is until you are.
In essence, I don't disagree with you, Ozzy. Like, in essence, look, that was my policy when I was looking for dates in college.
I disagree.
I'm also not saying you can't be exclusive with one person, but I'm just saying that until you are married,
there's no obligation.
There is no absolute obligation to.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%.
And if you want,
I'm not sure. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm confused.
I think there comes a point.
I'm not sure if you're staking out a really insane position, or if you're stating something normal and framing it as an insane position.
It's possible.
I understand. I understand what the gist of it.
Thank you for that clarification.
I also think there comes a point in the relationship where you and the other person are like, okay, we're doing like this is for keeps.
Correct. Yes, but at any point until you are legally married, you can pull out without having any qualms. I'm just saying, like, not that you would, but
no, you're right.
I'm just saying, and I'm not saying that you're physically going out and seeking other people per se, but until you are actually married, you have no real obligation to that other person.
Okay, from a legal standpoint, I agree with you.
Well, I'm not talking about law. I'm talking about like from a legal standpoint, biblically.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
Because you are not legally bound to that person until you are physically married, and the two have become one person.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
I'm just saying.
I'm not going to hammer this particular problem to death. I refuse.
It's an interesting topic.
But I think that's also why I think that you were not. That's why I have the position that you were not ready to start actually dating until, and dating I would say as in finding a partner until you are ready to get married. And when that time comes, I mean, if you're 19 years old and you have someone and you both are ready to get married, then go for it. Do not wait.
I feel like you
you
just
are-
said what I said, except you took 15 minutes to say it.
Maybe.
I used to have the same viewpoint on dating. That was my viewpoint through college, and heck, my viewpoint. I thought if you're dating, it should be with the intent of marriage.
Right.
I don't necessarily agree with that anymore. But then again, that is because I have gotten away from the whole concept that that two people of the opposite sex can't be friends mentality that I think I was partially raised with, or at least that permeated the culture that I was raised in.
Okay.
And so the idea that two people are going out doesn't necessarily mean that they are doesn't necessarily mean that they have to have the intent of marriage. They could just be getting to know each other,
Right.
and
Right.
that's perfectly fine.
Can I tack off a little bit here to a slightly different direction?
No.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Of course you can.
How do you think you guys are capable of successfully negotiating using an online dating site?
No.
What? I'm married.
I've never tried.
Hypothetically speaking, Aaron, bear with me here.
Now?
Like,
No,
Yeah.
probably not.
could
you
I
saw how
find
many issues
someone-
I had with getting the stream going this morning. I went all Karen on you. Like, I was about to call the manager.
Well,
I'm just-
what do you
all
mean
I'm-
successfully navigating? Like, could I physically
Like-
navigate the site, or
Like no. Like
could
if
I,
you had
could I
like
get a wife by being awesome?
yes, that exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
of course.
Sure.
via the online medium or not.
I mean, how hard could it be? Because all you have to do is lie.
Maybe I should rephrase the question for Ben because he is the special needs person in this class. Ben, can you find a spouse while adhering to your ethical and theological framework? All these qualifiers for Ben. There's always qualifiers.
Could I? I mean, I did. So yes.
All right, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think it's hard though.
I think it would. I
Yeah.
think it would suck.
I think it's
Yeah,
hard.
I think it would be extremely hard.
I do not think that.
I really think I know a handful of people that are happily married after meeting online, but I think
Yeah.
by and large, it's a terrible idea.
It can
So
be.
I'm trying to run through the people I know here who have been married online, or not married online, married after meeting online.
I know I'm not laughing because of what you said. I'm just the turn of phrase you said.
It was
funny. I know
hilarious.
exactly-
It
I
was
know what you
absolutely
meant.
hilarious.
I'm not making fun of you.
I'm thinking through the people.
There's
and
at least a handful
those-
that you know, right?
There's dozens now.
Dozens?
Yeah,
Really?
I'm
I
running
know
through
of
people.
one.
Oh no, there's a
I
bunch
know
of
of
them.
one, and it wasn't even a dating
So
site.
I know a bunch of them, and they have very strong marriages. I can't
say
think
this.
of anyone I know who met online who's divorced.
I'll say this: Carissa and I, even though we did not meet online, our relationship never would have flourished if we had not been able to talk to each other on Facebook. Never would have happened.
Yeah.
So Facebook was a great enabler, and I tell young men, Facebook is one of the greatest courting tools ever devised in human history. So use it.
All right.
Use it,
All right.
but be
Yeah,
honest with yourself.
We
And
talked
with
on
women.
the telephone. We didn't hide behind profiles.
So you use
that
20th
couldn't
century
confirm.
technology. Chris and I just chatted. She would get on at like 5:00 when I was at work, and I would start talking to her for an hour.
Slacking
hour and a
on your
half.
job, huh?
Well, it was usually into the day. I just was on the phone all the time, so I had time. It was fun. Anyways,
That's nice.
on that happy note,
was- So I don't know.
that was the easy part of our relationship. The hard part came later.
I mean,
Stop it, Ben.
I mean,
Take us out. Take us out.
yeah. I got.
Thank you, audience, for sticking with us. We have more amazing conversations and content coming to you live from the Front Porch Show.
And we're going to build that wall. It's going to be a great wall. And let me just tell you, Mexico's going to pay for the wall. Never, ever give up. Don't give up. Don't allow it to happen. If there's a concrete wall in front of you, go through it, go over it, go around it, but get to the other side of that wall.
We are back with the Front Porch Show amid the strange YouTube chat topics. I don't know what's going on there.
We went live. I'm excited to be live.
I know. I'm excited to be live too, but obviously, you know, we end up with strange
I forgot to
things
spritz
going
my
on.
pork butt.
Go spritz your pork,
spritz your
Ben.
pork.
Hold on.
We'll be here. We'll wait for you. And then when Ozzy gets back, I want him to explain to us what he's doing. I mean, other than spritzing his pork butt. Like I want to know the details of his culinary adventures. Because it sounds delicious.
So now Ben is gone.
Now that Ben is gone, what can we talk about him?
We can talk about what really matters. Kidding.
Ozzy, tell us what's going on with
Back.
your pork butt. How's it going? Like what's the
It
plan?
is going. All right.
So it's Memorial Day.
It is.
It's
Happy-
Memorial Day,
Thank you
the
for
day-
pointing that
the
out.
day that we-
weren't all on the same page about that.
The day that most of America celebrate the living veterans.
No.
No. It is. It is the day that most Americans celebrate the living veterans.
Yeah.
They're wrong.
Yeah.
And they are wrong on that. We
Yeah,
are
please.
celebrating the fallen veterans,
Correct.
those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for the
Yes.
United States.
These are the veterans that never
Never
came
made
out
it
of their
home.
uniform. Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
So
So
yes.
just a friendly reminder on that. That is
Yes.
what we are celebrating
Do
today.
you know what the antecedent to Memorial Day was? What holiday?
Was it Flag Day or something?
Nope. Flag Day is in July.
I do not know.
Decoration Day.
Okay.
I am not aware of that one.
What
to
is
be
that
honest with
one?
you.
If I recall correctly, Decoration Day was actually a Southern institution for memorializing Civil War dead, and it later
Okay.
on was
Interesting.
absorbed into Memorial Day. I forget when. Probably between World War I and World War II.
Huh.
So,
Interesting.
but it's called Decoration Day because that was the day you put flags and wreaths and so on tombstones.
Okay.
Huh.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yep.
So-
So
I
now
was
you
not
know.
aware of that.
Now you know what thing you didn't know before.
Now we know.
So an
More you know.
interesting thing happens on Memorial Day every year. And you have the obligatory posts on social media screaming that we shouldn't be celebrating, we shouldn't be, and it totally boggles my mind.
I haven't seen any of those. I don't know if I've seen any of those in several years because all my veteran friends, and I have more than a handful, are
Same.
huge Memorial Day celebrators. So
Right.
it's just interesting.
No,
Yeah,
I
haven't really seen many.
I agree. I mean, it has been less than it previously has been in the past, but I think part of that is that, the veterans have, I guess,
Spoken up.
Yeah, have spoken up and said, "Hey guys,
Yep.
this isn't a bad thing. You're celebrating the freedoms that we've
Right.
been given."
Right. Right.
Or that have been sacrificed for you. And so,
Right.
I
Right.
mean, for that I'm thankful, and for that I will enjoy a smoked turkey and some ribs today. So Ozzy, tell me about your pork butt though. You've been prepping
right.
this for a long time.
I have, yeah. So I bought it about a month ago, I guess. It's been in the freezer. Got it out about 5 days ago, so it could thaw. So last night,
We're going back that far in the prep, are we?
dude, we are. So last night I took my my applewood smoked salt, and then I took pepper, took that and rubbed the pork butt with that all around. Let it set for a couple hours. And at 3 o'clock this morning, I lit the grill up, and then we got water in there so that way you can moderate the temperature. Plop down the pork butt on it, and it's been going for about 5 hours now, 5.5 hours. And that's where we're at. So I got some apple wood that's around on the coals, so it can cook too, and it's looking pretty darn good actually. And then I'm spritzing it with apple cider vinegar and apple cider mix. So, and I've got a nice reddish brown bark right now.
I'm sure it looks glorious.
So it's gonna be fan-freaking-tastic, and we're gonna make pulled pork out of that in probably another 4 hours or 5 hours.
Nice.
That'll
So
be
I
done.
don't know if our turkey is on yet. I'm not facilitating that today. I've
All right.
tasked Alyssa with
So
that.
why
All right.
why turkey? Because
Uh,
turkey is notoriously hard to cook. Well,
no, it's not that hard to cook. It's just hard to cook if you don't know what you're doing.
like I said,
It's a smoked turkey, so it's barbecue.
So basically, you give it a cigar and then let it
Yeah.
go.
You let it
I
chill
mean,
for a couple hours.
Yeah. What's the problem?
Um,
Do you use Cubans or?
Those
You
too
use something
expensive.
else.
Too expensive. We go.
I mean, you were
we go
in
cheap.
Cuba, so
I was in
figured, you know,
Cuba.
maybe you picked up a cigar for your turkey for Memorial Day.
I'm visualizing a turkey sitting there with a Cuban hanging out of its mouth.
Stick it in,
I know,
stick it in there.
I'm like, really?
Am I doing this?
Am I doing this right? I don't know.
so Mr. Patrick Noble has reminded me that it is June 14th, not July 14th. It's Flag Day. July 14th is Bastille Day. And
Ah,
I'm pretty ashamed that I got the two mixed up. That
I'm-
should never happen to an American. So
I'm
Patrick,
ashamed.
I apologize.
I am ashamed
Right?
for you.
that is shameful.
That's
That's the
terrible.
problem with
Tombstone.
knowing too much stuff is occasionally the stuff gets confused.
Yeah,
But wouldn't that
yeah,
imply
we'll go with
like
that.
you didn't know the stuff though? Like
No, I knew that it was on the 14th. I just got it confused with the other
Oh, okay.
14th.
okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And I knew that it wasn't Memorial Day. Aaron. All right, I'll stop.
I don't
Anyway.
make a claim to knowing holidays. I just
So-
take the days off.
So what's involved with getting the turkey prepped and everything? And how long do
Nothing.
you-
Nothing.
how
Like
long do
so
you smoke
you
it
should
for?
probably brine it, but we didn't brine it.
Okay.
So like I looked on the package, right? And it already comes pre-brined. And so I was like,
All right.
just let it roll.
do
and
you
so
do?
I think we're gonna like coat it with butter and salt, pepper, paprika,
Yeah.
and
salt, pepper, man. That's
yeah,
the
just
usual.
ton of salt and pepper, and then just
Love it.
throw it on the smoker and let the smoker
Do you
take it.
do? Have you done like the beer can turkey yet?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Have you done that?
I've
I
done
haven't
the
that yet. I
chickens.
want to do that. Or
What
the
is
chickens, yeah.
beer can turkey? I don't need to know, but I'm curious.
Okay.
You basically you
for it.
impale the chicken upon a beer can,
That is open.
and it steams. It's
Huh.
yes, an open one, and
you
it's
don't, yeah.
it's
Unopened
Otherwise it would
beer,
just explode.
it's just the liquid steams
That's hilarious.
steams the chicken.
Yes.
I've done it with cider. I've done it with beer.
Ooh, cider.
yeah.
Cider might be good too.
Cider chicken's pretty good.
Have not tried that. That
yeah,
sounds like a
you
good
should
investment, too.
definitely try it.
I'm
I'm-
actually gonna smoke some chicken on the grill. I'm gonna try it with some chicken breasts that we have,
Mm.
and put them on in a couple hours.
Oh yeah.
So, because they're a little bit shorter of a time span, but yeah, I'm gonna do that too. So it's gonna be really good. I'm excited. What are you doing, Tombstone?
Today,
Yeah.
a friend of mine is going to bring over some buffalo burgers, and we're going to make those.
Ooh, that sounds really good. What
And
are you
I'm
gonna do on Bastille
Really looking
Day?
forward to it. On Bastille Day, I don't know.
Are you gonna start a project and just surrender?
Burn a flag with a fleur de lis on it. I don't know. What is wrong with you?
Just give up on French bread. Bastille
Oh,
Day. I'm gonna give up French fries and French bread.
I'm not
Also-
giving those up. I love
I'm
those.
also
Those
not
are
gonna
amazing.
make coffee with my French press.
My wife's been making homemade French bread, and we have to put some of it up, otherwise we would all eat all of it, and it's terrible.
That sounds good.
That's a problem. So Alyssa has
That sounds
started doing the sourdough thing.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Guys, it's a problem.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, so we were looking
Yes.
it up. Like from a health standpoint, it's better than regular bread.
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem is
I
you
mean,
eat like
what's
twice
the-
as much. And so that is a challenge. But like I'm eating an English muffin right now. It's a sourdough English muffin.
I am willing to accept the challenge. These are things that you know what it's like. Oh, look at that.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is so
Like,
beautiful.
It's perfect. I mean,
I love it. It's fan freaking tastic.
it's
love it.
delicious.
I love it.
So she made some English muffins. She does about one or two a month,
Now,
or
how
one or
is
two
her-
a week. 1 or 2 recipes a week.
Now you sent me earlier a picture last night. I guess a picture of the bacon. You're brining
Yeah.
bacon. What's happening with the bacon?
So if you remember correctly,
I
we
remember.
did. We have like 100 pounds of bacon to process.
It's true. That's a rough place to be.
Yeah, I know. It's a terrible place to be. So half of that's ours, half of it belongs to 2 other families we process pigs with.
Ooh.
And so I have been very, very nervous about processing this bacon
Okay.
because I don't want to screw it up. I mean, it's bacon for Pete's
Right.
sake. I just
Right.
don't want to
It's a
screw with
precious natural
Exactly.
resource.
it. It is.
It is now. Yeah.
It is a sustainable
okay,
resource
Can I
too.
interrupt for a second?
I don't know.
I have not actually seen the pork shortages that were forecast 3-4 weeks ago materialize.
Really?
Have you guys been
yes,
seeing that happen?
Yes.
Yes.
Very much so.
To what degree?
To Costco limiting purchases to one type of meat per family,
Yep.
and max 3. Same
Yep.
with our local
So,
stores. They were doing that as well.
I have not seen. Now it's been a couple weeks since I've been in a store, but Carissa did go this week. Everything seems to be normal. Prices are a little bit higher.
Prices are higher. Things are normal. So last week we talked about this, that even though we're down 25%,
And I haven't had trouble finding sausage because I was afraid with sausage would get hard to find, and I haven't had any
Ooh,
trouble finding it whatsoever.
so even though we're down 25% as far as production,
Mhm.
the exports to China have not stopped or slowed down.
Yep.
To China or from China?
To
To-
China. To China.
Well, you gotta probably a cash flow
And
thing.
so the American consumer is the only one who's sacrificing right now.
Go us.
And that has to do with 3 of the 5 major packing houses being owned by China. Anyways, if you or the audience would like to learn more about that story, y'all can listen to last week's show.
Ouch.
Yowza.
So we've got the bacon, and it's by far cheaper to do it ourselves than it is to buy it, obviously.
Right.
I mean, we're paying $6 to $10 a pound for bacon in the store, depending on what variety you go with,
Mm-hmm.
and what quality you want to go with. It makes a difference. And so I've been very nervous about this. So what I ended up doing is I threw. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that, audience.
Nice.
Kind of
Nicely
snuck
done.
out there.
Nicely done.
Nice egg burp there. So I
Just gonna let that
mixed up
pass
some
by.
salt, some sugar, a little bit of pepper, and some curing salt, and threw that all together. Sprinkled it over the bacon.
How
It's
long
gonna
are you gonna let that?
it's gonna go 7 days before I start testing it.
Now, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna smoke it? Or
I
what are
I
you
am
do?
gonna smoke it. I'm gonna smoke it
Okay.
at 200 degrees until the internal temperature is about 150, and it'll probably take around 4 hours to do.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna hang it in the smoker. I think I'm just gonna lay it on the grates to smoke it, and we'll
Now,
see
how
where
are
it
you
goes from
going-
there.
How are you going to keep yourself after you've smoked it from just taking a chomp out of the
From-
entire
From
thing?
eating
when it's done?
everyone else's bacon.
Dude.
Okay, so I don't like the
I would-
consistency of the bacon when it's only smoked to 150 because there's still too much fat on it. So you gotta fry it more. You
It's
gotta
true.
fry it more.
It's true.
Otherwise, you
Can
need to bring it to about
Can you
180
fry
to.
a giant uncut piece of bacon?
You can. You
What
can.
is that good? Is it not? Because I've never done that. Like
Yeah.
I've had a slab bacon. Like
Seems like it'd be
maybe
hard to get it
once or
done well
twice.
all the way
It
through.
doesn't get done really well all the way through. But the thing is, it depends on how you like your bacon. Like, I'm okay with it being a little floppy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not. I like it crispy too because I like it when it's like cracklings. That's good
Crisp.
stuff.
Oh,
My only issue when it's like that is that the meat gets a little bit way overdone.
yeah.
And so if you can get a nice fatty chunk of bacon
Oh man.
and then turn that into cracklings with just a little bit of meat, that's excellent. But if you have too much meat to fat ratio, it doesn't turn the cracklings right. And then I want it a little bit more floppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so,
that
you know,
fat is-
some people
oh,
are like,
man.
oh, you got to have your bacon one way. And I'm like, it depends on
No.
the bacon.
No, you don't.
It really
No,
depends
yeah.
on the bacon.
Yeah. I completely agree. Sometimes I like it and it's like almost charred basically. And
Yeah.
you get that really good crunch.
But it's got to have the right
Oh.
crunch, but not too much meat on that. Otherwise, it tastes like burnt meat.
uh-huh. Yep. That's what I love. Oh man, bacon is yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, so this is the first 10-pound batch of it, I believe.
Cool.
And we're gonna process that up, see what happens with it. If it works, we might do another batch of the same thing, or I might go to like a brown sugar, maybe a maple.
My favorite is we have a black pepper bacon that we get from
Oh,
Arby's.
isn't that good
Oh
stuff?
my goodness gracious.
So
It's
that's what
thick
this one's
cut.
destined for.
Woo,
After I
man.
smoke it, I'm gonna slather it in fresh cracked black pepper
Yeah.
and ship it off to the respective families. And
Oh, I thought
See
you
how
were
they
going to
like
say to
it.
China.
well, no. See, we're not into the screwing the American consumer. We're into processing our own meat so that we can actually eat, not have to deal with
Yes.
shortages.
I'm really glad you guys are doing it and have been doing it, but at this time in my life, I don't have the interest or the ability. Hopefully that'll change someday,
Man.
but
Well, I won't.
Man.
I don't think we're gonna do it any other way. We've been talking with the other folks that processed with us. I think we are probably going to do a couple pigs every 6 months.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, just to keep it in the freezer. And we're already talking cows now. So the only issue we have on the cow front is we don't have a place to
How-
hang the
I
animal
was going to
for,
say, yeah. How?
because you really need to hang that for at least 2 weeks.
So here's what you do. I've got this solved for you.
Okay, I'm
You
gonna
need
eat
to-
my English muffin
You need
that
to
Alyssa
get,
gave me. Beautiful
You got to
English
get a
muffin.
cow, all right? But you need to do it in like, when does it start getting really cold there? Around November-ish?
November, but sometimes the temperature rises above
All right,
freezing though. Sometimes.
So we'll say December, okay? Because it doesn't need to be absolutely freezing, but we'll start with December. All right. So you get the cow in December, okay? And then you hang it up in your basement, and then you go all rocky on it to get into shape. You see what I'm saying? This is a win-win all around right here. I can think of nothing better.
I mean, my basement's pretty warm, but okay.
If you just shut off the heat. You know? I mean, I know you work out in the basement. I can tell the guns are getting bigger here. Pretty soon it's going to be illegal and you're going to have to give up on going to a DC or
Guys.
something like that. But
Guys, my rotator cuff is bad right now.
is it?
Is
you need
it
to be
worse?
nice.
Is
You
it,
I
need to
don't
be
know.
nicer to your body because
Is
like
it
you've only
four-
got the one.
4 weeks ago, I have 2 rotator cuffs, buddy.
Let me rephrase. You can't grow a replacement.
4 weeks ago, I
Not yet.
decided to mix 25 bags of concrete by hand,
oh man.
and every time I do something stupid like that, I mess up my rotator cuff, and now I'm out for about 4 months now. Like I'm gonna be out for another probably 3 months,
Oof.
and I can't lift my arm higher than 90 degrees if I go straight out from the edge, like straight out from my body.
You need that chiropractor, man.
It's not a chiropractor; it's a
And
torn
a
muscle.
masseuse. And a
It's a torn.
masseuse.
Well, I need those. Regardless of the rotator cuff.
Right? Can that be part of like our package here? with the
benefit
Front
package
Porch
on the show?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah. The
that's-
only problem
do
is
we
the
include that?
masseuse is in studio, so during the show, so you guys would have to like reposition and yeah. So it might be hard. Yeah, man. I tell you, it's affecting everything because like I can't lift anything with that arm. I've learned that if I go forward to lift up my arm,
Yeah.
it's fine. Like I can go up forward, no problem. You know, nice flash of the armpit air to the
This is the best
YouTube?
live radio we
I
ever
know, I
done.
know. But man, I go sideways and I can't do anything. Like it's 90 degrees and I'm done.
Wow.
Can't go up any higher than that. Otherwise, and if I put any weight in that hand, I can't go higher than 45.
Mm.
So,
Mm-mm-mm.
anyways, guys, we're getting old.
We are.
Speak for yourself. I
Tombstone is a
refuse.
young, vibrant man.
I refuse to get
Wait,
old.
who also said that? Do we have that? Do we have
I
that?
will,
clip?
I will tell you guys. So I was dealing with some knee pain last year because of some poor footwear I was using, and
Ooh, yeah, don't do that.
a combined regimen of anti-inflammatory and rest, and then squatting has made a big difference.
Super feet, man.
Yeah. So when I work out properly, that was part of my issue.
Working out properly or
I
improperly?
had not worked out in about a month and a half, 2 months
Mm-hmm.
before doing that concrete.
Mm.
And before then, I was bulking up my shoulders intentionally, knowing that if I bulked up my shoulders, my rotator cuff would do better. And it just, dude, it hurt. It hurt. All because I was stupid and I wasn't exercising.
Yeah.
And yeah, anyways, mm-hmm,
Okay.
about that.
Well,
About
no,
that.
I think we've beaten this.
Well,
this
stop
horse.
hurting yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
But I'm glad you got your pig
That's great
process.
advice. Yeah, pig processed.
to
We're happy about that. Tastes yummy. Hopefully that bacon will cure up properly. We'll see.
Man. It's
Anyway,
so easy.
okay, Ozzy,
so
how
easy.
did your bacon end up?
It was okay. It was okay.
I'm gonna
All
go
right.
with a 2 out of 10 on
tried-
that.
We tried. Yeah. Oh yeah. We tried the brine, and I tried the rub. Okay, so the rub tasted pretty good. It was more or less a brown sugar, salt, pepper, couple other things that I have. That's just a standard rub that I have in the cabinet. But the majority of it is a large majority of it is brown sugar. So it kind of made it more into candy bacon
What's wrong with that?
than real bacon, which is fine. It's good. So that one turned out okay.
Okay.
The brine one was my dog's very happy with it. Let's just say that. So it was okay too.
Your poor
It
dog's
wasn't-
gonna
it wasn't
have
great.
kidney issues with all the salt.
Dude, my dog loves it, man. I give it to him not often, but like once a day he'll get like a piece or something like that. So he
You're
thinks it's
just
great.
trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean it's okay. It's a way fatty. It's way
Okay.
fatty, and I
Did
think
you-
that's part of the problem.
Did you use any
so.
curing salts or anything?
I did not. No,
Okay.
I used regular salt.
Iodized?
Yeah. Well, no,
Mm,
not iodized.
Not
I
iodized,
had.
okay.
I accidentally, about a year ago, I accidentally didn't really know that there was a difference between iodized and not. Nobody told me. My wife didn't tell me. She expected that I should know that, and I didn't. And so I bought non-iodized salt.
Gotcha.
So we had that left over. So I used that, and it worked okay. But it's not fabulous
Yeah.
by any means.
So when we did our Sam's Club run last week, I inadvertently bought 40 pounds of iodized salt.
Oh, nice.
I was like, well, can't use that for curing meats, but I've got
Yeah.
40 pounds of salt for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I did not have any clue that there was a difference between them. I had no earthly clue that there was a difference.
Yeah.
I'd never paid that much attention
So
to salt.
iodized salt
So-
for eating and cooking and non-iodized for curing meats. Otherwise,
Yes.
your meats will end up tinny.
You don't want that.
And no, you don't want to ruin your bacon. So
Yeah, nobody likes ruined bacon.
no one likes ruined
But
bacon.
needless to say, we're just going to be buying bacon from the store because it tastes better. So,
I mean,
but it was worth a shot.
you bought that from the store.
Well, I bought it from a meat market actually.
Oh, okay.
So,
I want to know why they didn't cure it to begin with. I'd go back there and ask them. Like, you sold me faulty bacon. Go all
No.
Karen on them.
they didn't. They didn't. It was well labeled, I hate to say.
Did you see where Biden wants to take me to the back of the barn? Me. Some things in life you could really love doing. I don't wear a toupee. It's my hair.
I really am very smart.
I am a young, vibrant man.
That was
The
for you,
time
Tombstone.
for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action. We will make America great again.
But do you know what is not making America great again? It's the fact that buffets are closing. We joked about this last week. We joked about this.
We did.
Like,
yeah.
wasn't that the title of the show last week? Was
What-
it's the
what-
end of the buffet as we know it?
What Buffett is closing? I think that was
Golden
like,
Corral is, I believe, they're shuttering 24 corporate-owned stores.
Yowza.
Now there's like
Wow.
200 something Golden Corrals that are still going to be open during, like, after all this, but I believe those 24 corporate-owned stores are done.
How are they going to be open? That is what I am so curious about. Is how do you have a buffet with the new coronavirus?
So okay,
rules?
so our local man, I should have called them up to see if we could get them on for an interview today. But
Yeah.
our
It's not too
local
late.
Pizza Ranch, which is basically a CC's except slightly better.
I was gonna say they're probably
It's
just
slightly
insulted them.
I don't even
slightly
remember
more
the last time I went
expensive.
to a CC's.
Slightly more expensive, but slightly better.
College,
Yeah, it was college, definitely college.
and they're still great. I still want to go back and
Mm.
relive the glory
Mm.
days, and it
Mm.
probably will hurt me.
I know. It's the way it works. But now, look, we've graduated to like Brazilian steakhouses, and that's infinitely better.
I still haven't gone. My brother was listening to the last episode, and he texted me like, "You have never gone to a Brazilian steakhouse?" I'm like, "No."
Telling you,
I
Ozzy,
have
I'm telling you,
not."
Ozzy, next time you come out,
Listen,
we will do it.
I'm next time I come out. You mean the first time I come out?
Well, first time you come out, next time you come out. I don't know. It
All
doesn't
right.
matter.
We're gonna do that. Like, yes, I will come join your pig slaughtering cult.
Oh, yes.
and we can go to go to a Brazilian steakhouse. So
So they
that's what you need to get Tombstone to join, since he's a heathen now.
yes. The
Yes,
pig slaughtering cult.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
it'll work. It'll
Gross.
all
it'll
it
work.
costs you is what a inch gash in your leg with pig guts and everything else with a
That's
knife.
disgusting. That's disgusting.
That's all it costs you.
So, wow.
You can listen to the episode from last week and figure out where we're coming from,
That-
and then
yeah,
rejoin us, because it would be a lot better.
It would make it relevant.
So-
So yeah, no. So
Anyway.
the local pizza ranch, they actually have workers servicing the
serving?
buffet. Yeah, serving off the buffet.
Interesting.
And so I imagine the Golden Corrals will do the same.
Yeah.
End up doing the same thing. So this says closed. Golden Corral has closed all 35 company operated restaurants and furloughed 2,200 employees because of the coronavirus pandemic.
Man,
Employees were informed of the move in a virtual town hall meeting. Golden Corral will provide food for the furloughed employees to feed their families and will assist them in getting unemployment benefits. I just want to know who's going home with the fondue fountain. That is all I want to know.
man.
Tombstone.
man.
Tombstone's got the fondue fountain.
I don't even know what I would do with a fondue fountain, to be
Oh.
honest.
Chocolate fondue, dude.
Oh,
wanna
those are
talk about
that's
getting-
so nasty.
You want to talk about getting the Ronas? That is how you get.
That's
the Ronas
so
right
nasty. You
there,
like
man.
walk up there, like you got
and
little
like
kids running their fingers
right,
in it.
5 kids, and they got like all sorts of who knows what. So there's like little chunks of steak in there that some kid
It's like
was like,
Ugh.
run,
"What's
it's like
chocolate and
runny
steak
runny
taste like?"
runny nose. They got a
Yes.
runny nose, and then they're like sticking
I
a
haven't
finger in the.
actually been. So I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, the buffet was like the staple of the family dining experience. Like if you had family coming from out of town, you went to Ryan's, you went
yeah.
to Quincy's. Do you guys have
Yes.
Quincy's?
Except Ryan's was actually
no,
solid though.
the Ponderosa.
Ah, the
Yeah, Ponderosa's
Ponderosa,
another chain.
yeah.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of quality time in Ryan's when I was a kid, both here and in Marietta, where my grandparents lived, Georgia.
Yeah.
So that was like, it's just what you did, and
Yes,
I have no idea
yes.
whether it was good or not, because when you're 9, you don't know.
You have no
just
idea.
eat. So
Right, when you're
But
just
that's-
stuffing your face.
Okay.
But
so,
the last Ryan's here went out of business like 5 or 6 years ago, and Quincy's went out of business like 5 or 6 years before that.
Really?
So we still have a Golden Corral, but I haven't been in there for like, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 years.
We used to have a Golden Corral in Norfolk, but it went out of business probably 7, 8, 9 years ago, I think.
Wow.
Maybe even longer ago than that. But my question is why? Like, it doesn't make sense that it went out of town because the culture out here kind of lends itself towards that feeding style. If that makes
So,
sense.
For those
Like-
of you
Like,
in
it's a
Greenville,
cultural establishment, guys.
for those of you in Greenville, Golden Corral on 291 in Cherrydale is still open. They're doing takeout only.
So they haven't opened their seats yet.
They haven't
they,
opened
like,
their seats, and they may
have
not.
they
I mean, I
cut
don't know.
Prices? How do you price
Dude, I
a
have no
Golden
idea.
Corral like for takeout?
Yeah, how do you
Let's
have a
look.
buffet? It's
Let's-
like let's
Let's
you
look
just-
at the menu.
I would like a
on
pound of steak.
goldencorral.com.
Right? I
Oh,
would like,
yeah, I don't
would
know.
like 4 pounds of steak. I would like 20 pounds of this and 5 pounds of that.
So it looks like I have no idea. I'll have to figure it out. I may call them.
Now, all right. So how
I wonder if
about
we can call them while we're on the air.
Oh gosh. He's-
Why are you
he's,
guys scratching your heads?
can
We
you
probably
just do a
shouldn't do that.
voice?
After our
Would
our
you-
streaming issues today, we probably shouldn't try
just
that.
be like, would you mind ever so much if you could deliver 600 miles away? Is that a problem?
I just want the fondue fountain.
Just hand it out the door, hand it out the window. I'll
Just-
take it and run. I'll give it back, I swear, when we're done with it. No, why don't they just they need to become a catering service. Just get catering.
Do you really want Golden Corral
I
to be
don't know-
catering
I
your
don't
event,
know.
though? I mean, that's
I don't
kind of
know.
it's like the whole thing of canned mac and cheese. I mean,
Now, I have to
I go
say,
to
have
Costco
you
and get a
seen-
number 10 can of mac and cheese if I needed to.
One of the things that I saw, speaking of catering, everybody knows Chick-fil-A caters, correct? Now, do you know that you can get Chick-fil-A, you can get Chick-fil-A hot, or you can get Chick-fil-A that is in like pre-wrapped quantities that you put in your refrigerator and then you do yourself
I did hear
to
about
heat
that.
up. I didn't know that was a thing. They are advertising that on their commercials now, that you can get like hot food or you can get it to go and then just heat it up whenever you want to. You know, keep it in your refrigerator, and then if you wanted a meal later on that night or the next day or whatever, you can do Chick-fil-A. I
Yeah,
didn't know that was
that
a
is
thing.
fascinating.
I did not know they didn't make hot food, but they made like to go, I don't know, quantities.
Hmm.
I thought that was kind of cool.
That is interesting.
So I still have not.
I
eaten
did
Chick-fil-A
find
in 4 months. I'm
prices
so
for the
bad.
Golden Corral.
Oh, okay. You tell.
They sell all their food literally by the pound.
How much are we talking per pound?
Well, breakfast is $5.99 per pound.
Okay,
Lunch,
so basically, what they've done is they've become
they've averaged
the,
this.
They become the Asian food takeout in the mall, where you buy it by the pound.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know,
pretty
you
much.
just walk up to the people and you're like, "Here, I
I'd like
need that,
5
that, that,
pounds."
that," and it's like 10 pounds worth of food, and you're like, "Oh, dude, I used to do that all the time."
4 meals.
did,
5
man.
meals.
Dude, it was awesome.
Yeah,
no,
cheap.
that was like one meal. I was like, that was when I was 16 years old.
Okay,
dude.
okay.
I could put food away. Now with my
That's-
32-year-old self, I regret so many.
Your
so many meals
72-year-old
now.
self?
Yeah, my 72. Wow. No,
That-
32. What did I
32?
say?
I thought
didn't
you
say
said 72.
Yeah,
I thought you
my
said 72.
My 72-year-old self is even going to be in worse shape, I'm
I,
sure.
You know, that's what I'm afraid of. I'm telling you, 30, my metabolism took an epic dump. And it's like, I wasn't good at watching what I eat then. It's like, I have to really be careful now.
Oh, dude, the worst thing is whenever I'm cooking like the meat that I have behind me, and dude, not snacking on that.
I
all
know.
day long.
If you snack
Because
on
I
it, you're not
can't
going to
do
eat
it.
dinner.
Until last year, I had no problem doing that all day long, and then all of a sudden, something in my body broke,
Mm-hmm.
and it was
I
like,
know.
you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this.
Yep.
And so, yeah,
It's terrible.
it is horrible. And
terrible.
now I'm
So it's like-
wondering- I am honestly wondering if I can still put away like a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts.
Wait, why would you do that?
Why not?
Why would you
No,
not?
That's terrible.
Why?
I can only eat like 2 or 3 tops.
I
Oh, dude.
I can eat 2 or
Dude,
3 and then
give
I'm
me
done.
a glass of milk, man. I will put those suckers away.
That's too
Dude.
much. That's just too much.
No.
That's
baby
that's like,
angels, as
that's
Matthew
like
calls
3,500
them.
calories
They're
in one
like
sitting.
they're like warm baby angels.
They
You
are.
pop it in your mouth, and it's like glory be. If I had a Chick-fil-A
The angels
sandwich
are
to
singing hallelujah.
Oh my goodness! If I
Mhm.
had some Chick-fil-A meat to smash between this, it would be like that is the closest to heaven on earth that you can get.
Ben, you ain't right.
Honestly, that sounds fantastic.
There's
Right?
something deeply wrong with your psyche. So
Right?
about that aqua bike.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So since
Jump-
we're
let's
gonna
jump
talk
back
about
to
this.
healthy.
No, oh yeah, we're gonna that's right. We're gonna take that left
This-
turn.
Wow, that was
this is
an epic
why-
whiplash.
I wanna know if you really want to do it. Because if you really want to do it, we need to make it happen.
I may. The problem I have is with the Sunday thing. That's what kills me.
How so?
It's Sunday.
Well,
Yeah.
you can take Monday off.
Yeah, but yeah. But Monday isn't the Lord's day. Sunday.
We can
is.
we can discuss.
That's the problem that I have.
Y'all take this off air. Y'all figure this
So-
out off air. I'll just monologue here.
Let's talk about Stephen Furtick again.
No.
But yeah,
Oh man.
that is my goals for working out now are so that my body can burn the calories
Yeah.
so I can eat whatever I
Yeah,
want.
right.
That's terrible.
So true.
Terrible
That is-
So
motivation.
we
It's
made
not, though. It really isn't.
it's
Is it
not.
terrible?
It's not. It's what you have to do.
don't live to eat.
I have-
You eat to live, Ben.
I
No,
have
no,
resigned
I- see, I don't-
myself to my dad bod, and the way that I maintain my dad bod is by working out and walking. And that is my goal for each day at work. I take around 12 to 18,000 steps because I want to eat what I want to eat.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yep.
It's like you have to
I
come
am-
up with some sense of moderation, but
I am perfectly fine with my uniab here. So
I like to call mine the keg. It may not be a 6-pack, but we're rocking the keg.
are there better alternatives than like the spare tire? Because the spare tire is just so depressing. It's
Yeah,
like,
the keg.
you know, like the
It
keg
brings
is-
joy to
yeah, the
everyone's
keg's better.
lives.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it does.
It does. It does.
Like think Santa Claus.
I
Like, what would
know.
Santa
So-
Claus be if Santa
there's
Claus
so
was
much.
just ripped? You know,
Uh-huh. Right.
It'd be so disappointing. You'd be like, he didn't spend time thinking about the toys somewhere in a chair getting fat. He was working out, and that just does not.
No, it doesn't work.
It doesn't equate to good toys. That's all I'm saying. I need a
Mhm.
fat, jolly man who
Mhm.
probably ate a
Mhm.
dozen Krispy Kreme Chick-fil-A sandwiches to
You are
deliver my toys.
you are absolutely off the chain.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
You know what else I need to do is we need to come up with some good new sports. I got a new sport for us to
Do you?
participate in. Yes. First off,
What sport is this?
we have to lose probably each of us about 100 pounds to participate in this because it is a Japanese sport, and we all know Japanese people are usually rail thin for some reason. If you're not, then you become a
I
sumo
apologize to all our Japanese listeners right now.
wrestler. No, but I'm just saying that's not a bad thing. They just are. Have you noticed that? Like if you are a heavyweight Asian, you can compete in certain sports, but most of them, you don't have like these smaller sumo wrestlers that go far.
I guess.
So
I
I'm
guess.
just saying, this is just my recognition of Japanese sports. So with this sport, you cannot be a large person for this sport because it will not work out for you.
Okay. So what is this sport?
This is called Botoshi.
Botoshi.
What this is, and I love this. We have two teams of, I want to say it is 75 people that are attackers, 75 people that are defenders. Okay? So two teams with 150 people each. So this is huge. What they have is they have a pole in the middle that is roughly, I think it's about 10 foot high. And there's a dude on top of the pole. So you have 75 people that are around this pole defending it, and 75 people that are attacking the other people that have people around the pole defending it. And the object is to get the other team's pole down. Now,
Okay.
And it is a massacre.
We
it's
are
awesome.
We are showing this on YouTube for our YouTube watchers right now.
It is just, it's a
they're
thrill, man.
wearing helmets.
Yes.
They're
dude,
chanting up the crowd. They've got
these
lines of
people-
troops.
these
Oh,
people
there's
are,
a
like,
guy on the post.
kicking people in the heads.
Oh, no. Are they really going to, like,
Oh, yeah. Dude, it gets violent, man.
they're
It's
creaming.
great.
Oh, my goodness. They are
awesome.
trying to dismount the gentleman off the pole.
Yes. So it's not only getting the guy off the pole, it's also getting the pole down, apparently. So,
Wow. Oh, my goodness. The guy goes up and over the top of them.
Yep.
They're
It's
walking
awesome.
up people.
yes. Yes.
Oh, clothing ripped. Oh, man. Wow.
It's a It's a
Wow.
wonderful massacre that seems
This
kind of
looks
like,
incredible.
this is like what I remember Red Rover being when I was a kid. And I know it's not, but this is the
Wow.
memories that I have where it was just sheer awesome violence in some ways.
Wow, this is incredible.
I'm telling
I
you.
have never seen anything like it.
I'm
Okay,
telling you.
did you ever watch Our Man on the Ground, James May?
Yes.
That was an excellent, very
The one
excellent
in-
Netflix
The one in
series.
Japan, yes.
Yes.
It's
The
very
snowball
good.
fights,
Yes, the snowball fights are
the
brilliant.
Japanese snowball fights.
It looks like the snowball fights, if you can think of how paintball tournaments are in the US, it's exactly the same type of thing, except it's a snowball fight. So same type of course where it's, you have things to hide behind. As soon as you get hit, you're out.
Right.
They do have face shields and stuff like that, but that's the basic gist of it. Would be exactly like a paintball tournament. So I think that's a really cool thing.
We're,
So I gotta give it to the Japanese people, man. They have got some awesome sports.
We're rolling
So-
this on our YouTube.
I think
It's
it's cool.
courtesy of Outside Television. The snowball fight. I mean, they've got referees and everything.
Yep.
I mean, they are helmets, full helmets, because it's gonna hurt. I mean, this is like off the hook.
Yes.
I
This is-
look so.
This
Who
is
would
the
have
type of
thought
sport
Japan and
we-
like full contact sports?
Right. Right.
I mean,
It's
sure, we've got
awesome.
sumo wrestling, but I
That doesn't end in like sheer violence, though. That usually just ends with somebody getting thrown out of the ring.
yeah,
I
well,
mean,
right.
there are body slams here and there, but they're literally not kicking each other in the head.
Good
So,
points. Good points all around.
But
I that's man. That ranks up there with cheese rolling, guys.
did we ever figure out what happens to that house at the bottom of the hill?
It probably gets bowled over by a block of
There's probably-
cheese.
You know what it is? It's probably that house at the bottom of that hill for the cheese roll is probably only half a house. The back side of the house is what you're looking at. The front side of the house is probably just demolished. That's my thoughts on that.
It could. It's got like siding on it that's like dilapidated because cheese keeps hitting it.
He's getting hit. Although
Clapboards
I'm still disappointed by the sheer size of the cheese because it needs to be at least 2 to 3
Now,
times that
now look,
size.
I'm just
At
wondering
least.
if it's a brick wall, they could like heat the entire wall up with like a weed burner, and then when the cheese hits it, it kind of splats on the wall, and then they have a snack. They could all have like biscuits or crackers or something, and just
biscuits or crackers.
I'm just saying. I'm a man of ideas. It doesn't mean that they're good
that's
ideas.
Exactly what I want to do is I want to go and get a biscuit and just slap it onto a melted cheese wall.
I mean, why wouldn't
I
you?
figure Golden Corral has to be able to come up with something like that. Like they need to utilize this as being like the fondue cheese wall.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
what they need.
Did I
That's what
send
they
you guys
need
a picture?
for-
We had a church conference last week that we were doing. It's a church. It was
conference.
conference that we normally go. We normally go to Chicago for this conference, and instead we obviously weren't able to go, so they streamed it online. And
Right.
what we ended up doing, there's a company called Amplio that makes I don't know what they do. They're
Fondue
an integrator.
fountains.
They're an integrator.
Oh,
They sell all the equipment and they send in the personnel to redesign worship spaces or add like a soundboard or a PA system or whatever
okay.
they're doing. Or if you're a cool church, an LED wall.
Ooh,
Yeah.
fancy.
Yeah. And smoke,
That's like
smoke of
making
course.
money off of church, folks.
Smoke of course. And I'm just egging you on, Ozzy. So anyways, they install all that stuff, and in their booth, they rent an entire room, and they in that room have a donut wall, wall of donuts,
Oh,
where you can just go in and grab a donut off the wall.
yes, please.
Yes, so we designed one for our little conference, and
Nice.
ate donuts.
That's awesome.
Yes, yeah,
How
it
did
was.
that go? Did everyone get fat? 'Cause I
Well,
could just-
yes, they did.
yeah. I
Yeah,
could
yes,
just
they did.
See that going over so well. I
Yeah.
mean, literally going over really, really well, and everybody just
Mhm.
There's no hope.
Yeah,
There's
it
no hope.
was.
There's no hope. Your church is trying to make people fat and kill off the congregation so that you can go back to
Right.
church.
The Rona
less
didn't. The
people.
Rona didn't get us. It was the.
Right.
We
It
gotta
was-
comply.
It was the donut wall.
We gotta comply with the social distancing somehow. We might as well just get rid of people by feeding them too much.
Can you rent the Golden Corral? Can you just rent that? That's our new church space is the Golden Corral.
What was? Oh, it was. I referenced this the other day. It was. It was. Crud. Who was that guy who sang that song?
Wow, that's super
Well,
descriptive.
I'll
Thank you.
I'll send it to you guys in the break.
Okay.
It was.
No, not the guy.
The other guy, the guy that did the thing in the
Yeah,
place.
it was the
that
guy who
time.
did the thing. It was a song.
I remember that. That was on one of those episodes where we did the other thing. We were talking about the whatever.
It's the First Baptist Bar and Grill.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a Tim Wilson song. Anyways, I'll
Okay.
I'll play it for you guys during the break.
All right.
It's
That sounds
a
exciting.
good
All right, take us
it's
out. I
pretty
gotta
funny.
go spritz some more.
Yeah, go spritz your pork. Can we say that on the air?
Just did. Where's the quack quack?
I have a headache.
Thank you.
Ozzy, this one's for you.
Stop it right now! We will stop this tournament! This is stupid! This is absolutely ridiculous! Get out of here! We will stop this tournament right now! We are adults, and this is ridiculous! It is a cornhole tournament fundraiser! Cut the crap!
Woo!
Love it. I love it so much.
That's excellent. Ozzy, you embarked on, we talked about it last week. You
Yes.
embarked on the great
And I
Adirondack
said-
chair.
I said I wasn't going to do it.
You said you weren't?
No.
No, you
I
said you
totally-
were. I know.
No. I totally said, you were like, I was going to do it. And you were like, are you going to do it by Memorial Day? And I was like, no.
And you did it.
And I did, yeah.
You did. I mean,
I did.
they are fantastic.
I
Do you
did.
have a picture of those? Like,
Sure.
send me, email me
I'll
a picture.
Email you.
Email me a picture so that way I can grab it and throw it up for our audience to
Text you
look
a
at
picture.
as you're
Text
explaining what you've done.
I'm going to text you a picture and then you can email it to yourself.
Oh, that's so hard, Ozzy. I think you already texted me a picture. I'm
All right.
Oh, look at that.
s-
The pictures of your meat. I'm going to download a picture of your meat
I'm
too.
struggling.
And then I'm going to show your meat to the
So,
audience.
Yeah, so I
Aaron,
decided to do Adirondack.
what is
here.
wrong
Your
with you?
pork butt. What are you?
Where's your mind?
Where's
How
your
dare
mind,
you,
Tombstone?
sir?
I
How
know what
dare
you
you?
meant. The problem
We
is not
are
what
an-
you meant. It's what you
we're-
said.
We are an upstanding show, and you are dragging us
We
down.
are a lot of things, but upstanding is not one of them.
Take your hedonism and get out of here. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time to dabble in that.
Yep.
Anyways.
I'm gonna bounce out.
And yet here we are.
So tell me, Ozzy, about your project.
All right, so I built some Adirondack chairs. I went online and I found from I think it's Red Cedar. They have some plans for free, and I used those plans. I thought they were going to be a lot smaller than they are. I don't have a problem with them being big, because now me and my wife can grow old and fat in our Adirondack chairs,
Which is expected.
which is expected. Yes. They are indestructible. I made them out of pressure-treated wood. I used 2x6s is what they required. 2x6s and also 1x6s. So I used decking board and 2x6s. And they are indestructible at this point. They are super heavy because the pressure-treated wood is brand new. So in a couple
I was
months,
gonna say they'll dry out a good bit.
right. In a couple months, I'm actually gonna stain them so that they're not, the nice yellow green. They'll be a nice brown or something like that. But they came out very good, and they are ginormous.
They look great.
Yeah, they're around 40, I would say 40 pounds to 50 pounds a piece with the wood that I used. I used 3/16 stainless steel screws that I got from the Home Depot on clearance.
Well, let's get more
Boom.
specific there on what.
Oh, okay. Well, I used 1 5/8 stainless steel.
No,
screws,
no,
and
no,
also
no.
2.5.
Don't bore the audience.
I used about 50 of each for each chair. It's about what's required. I can start giving you dimensions if you want, but I think that's a little
no,
too far,
that's
but-
excessive.
But they're awesome. They are awesome. I think I'm gonna be with the next ones. I'm gonna build probably 2 more of those. They cost me around $35 each, which is not too shabby, I have to say.
$35 a piece. That's not bad at
Yeah,
all.
that's about what I cost in wood. That's not counting how much the screws cost. So I would say overall, I'm probably $40 $40 a chair with screws because
that's
screws are a little
good.
expensive. 'cause
Screws
they're
are expensive.
stainless.
A stainless, I think you
So-
said.
Yeah, 3/16 stainless, not 305.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Because I am by the shore, so
Because
I gotta have that extra.
Why
extra
would you go
protection
with
there.
Why would you go with anything other than high quality?
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm
Um,
saying. Like, what's up with these cheap cop outs, man?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm telling you.
What I'm
I
saying.
can tell this is riveting. Tombstone is.
It is.
I'm here.
Not falling asleep at all.
So I worked on my table finally. I got back to the table. And I affixed the other breadboard end
It is epic.
to the table. The table is 8 foot long, 44 inches wide, and approximately 250 pounds. The top without the legs, which will add another like 60.
And what did you make it out of?
This is slab oak.
Wow. See, I would love to have a table like that. I don't have a place to put one. Actually, I'm not sure that's true. I might could squeeze it. Could squeeze it into my dining room.
It's not that huge of a table. Like, I mean, a 4x8 sheet of plywood is pretty big. I mean, we cut this down from 48 inches wide because it would have been way too big.
Yeah, 48 is quite. Would you shave off 8 inches or?
I think we shaved off 4 inches, but we might do another inch. It's funny how you take off 4 inches and it looks a whole lot. It looks a whole lot. Whole lot narrower.
I get it. I get it.
Like you guys, we are live. We are live. And I was gonna say something.
I am not
What
the
are you
problem
talking
here.
about?
Ben Oslin is the problem.
Where is your mind? Where is your mind at? Being alive. Take off one Sunday. Good grief.
Oh man, you guys. No, so I'm hoping. I'm still trying to figure out how I am going to end up finishing the table. Because what are my options, Ozzy? You may or may not work in a venue where you know these things. How should I finish my table?
How should you finish? Well, it depends on what you like. You need to put some kind of a stain on it.
We want a matte finish. We want we don't want a thick poly finish.
Okay. We're not talking about polys. We're talking about stain. What color are you wanting it? Because stain and poly is not synonymous. Although they do make a poly stain, which is horribly disappointing.
So I don't want a thick coating over the top that's glossy. I want something that almost looks and feels like natural wood, but yet protects it well.
Right. Okay. So you're wanting a poly, but you can go with like a satin poly.
Well, see, that was what I was wondering.
Which would be fine. I mean, you could do a lacquer. A lacquer isn't quite as durable in some ways. There's give and take on both of those, but the main thing is make sure that you sand in between those coats, unless you're using like a lacquer and then a little bit less sanding.
Right.
But I mean, either way, it's one of those things where it's like it's worth stripping off every couple of years and then redoing.
See, that's what I hate doing that.
Unless you're gonna get like something ridiculously hard.
Well, see, that's
maybe like an epoxy.
I mean, it's oak. It's ridiculously hard as it is.
Then you're gonna, but you're still gonna get the dents in the poly though. That's the thing.
Good point.
So you may wind up with it being less because our table I refinished, and it is I'm not 100%. I think it's maple, but I'm not 100% on that. But we have dents. Our kids are like.
Oh well, kids are going to be kids,
crazy.
And kids are going to dent the crap out of things.
Yeah, and so eventually I'm going to strip it all back down and then redo the whole thing again. We've had it for like 4 years.
I'm showing the online audience your Adirondack chairs at this point.
Yeah,
nice.
Those are spectacular, by the way.
They're husky chairs.
Now
let me tell
you don't have the classic oval top to them.
No.
These are very angular chairs.
They are. I decided to go a little bit untraditional.
I mean,
a little
the
bit
project that
modern.
you can get done quickly and not have to go back to is the best project.
Well,
so,
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree at all.
It took me roughly for the first one because I cut all of the boards at once. So the first one, it took me about 2 hours to get down, assemble, and cut all of the boards and put together. The second one, with having all the boards pre-cut and already knowing how everything fits together and figuring out the little here's and there's that were left out in the instructions, it took me roughly 35 minutes to assemble
Not
it.
bad.
So
Not bad.
yeah. So
Goes
once
fast.
everything's cut and you know that you don't need to look at the instructions again to figure out where these pieces go because it's not that many pieces. It goes pretty quickly.
Showing the audience here the slab table. So it's three big slabs. It's an 18-inch center.
hang on, I gotta look.
With two 16 inches. You can catch that on the YouTube page. At I don't know what the what the link is.
Scott McCord there with the relevant
It
commentary.
is true. It does need to be able to hold.
Scott
does
is
need to be able to
rapidly
hold,
becoming my favorite audience member. Not that my opinion counts for a lick, but
So it is not even across the top of the table. I did not plane it all. I did not plane it all even.
Aaron, how long should it take it to show up? Oh, never mind. I'm looking.
You should have it now. You should
I'm
have the picture
behind.
now.
I had paused it, so I have to catch up.
Well, you can.
There we
you
go.
can
I
fast-
have it.
There
now.
you go.
Yeah, I
there you
have it
go.
now. So, Aaron, I'm going to ask a really dumb question. Exactly what is a breadboard end?
So if I understand correctly, if I
I didn't
understand
know
correctly,
what it was either until about a year ago.
if I understand
wasn't
correctly,
aware.
it's the end put on the table there. It's crossways to the planks. Now, modern day era, it really doesn't have any
Right.
significance.
Right.
It is more of, so if you see how those, I'll send this back up again. If you see how the board goes crossways as opposed to the long way, it's to protect that grain on those long pieces.
I got you.
And kind of bring the table together and keep it from splitting. Also, is some of the thought process behind it. But also, it was removable so that you could
Right. So you can
make
replace
bread,
it.
chop things, do whatever you wanted on that end,
Yep.
and you could
Gotcha.
replace it. Now, mine are technically replaceable. I did not glue mine, but they are so tight, I don't think I can get it off. Like it's not, they're not coming off. I mean, it is, it's so ridiculously.
It's gonna be great.
I did so what I did do is the center pin, I drove the center pin in perfectly center on the table, drilled the hole slightly off on that inside, so it was actually cinch up when I nailed it together. So like a 32nd of an inch off the pinhole. And then on the ends, I actually elongated the pinholes so that the wood could stretch and grow as moisture hit the wood. So,
Nice.
but basically we want it to be rustic table. So it's not perfectly smooth on top. It'll be sanded all smooth, but it will not be like a perfectly flat surface. And so, yeah, it's a cool process. I'm real excited about it. Okay, Ozzy, I am sending up in just 1 second here. I am sending up a picture to the audience here of your meat.
Yes. Oh, it's getting
They-
good.
That looks gorgeous.
It's
now-
getting exciting.
You did a ring of fire around your meat there, I see.
Yes. Yes.
How's that progressing? Is it enough? Is it, you think you're
Yeah,
going to
oh,
be
yeah.
good?
Yeah. I got about a third of it left. I had to actually close the vents a little bit because I closed them too much. It started dying down and went down to 150 degrees. I had to open them back up, and now it's a little too warm, so I had to cinch them down a little
Gotcha.
bit more. Yeah, it works roughly. I don't know. I would say probably about 6 inches per hour.
Okay.
Maybe something
Interesting.
like that, 4 to 6 inches per hour with the ring of fire around
Yep.
it.
Nice.
And I'm on like the last about a third of that.
Okay, so you got
left.
time to go.
So I got time to go, and if worse comes to worse, I can always take it and put it in the oven, and then finish it off.
Now,
So,
I
'cause
just
it's got
want
the
to
smoke, it's
props
got
to you
everything
for
it
doing this
needs.
all on a Weber.
So
Like,
yeah,
Props, because that's awesome. I'm looking out your window here. The audience can't see it because we have it cropped.
yeah, it's a little. Tricky, yeah.
We have that chopped off. We see a brick wall where your window's supposed to be in Tombstone's frame. But I every once in a while I see beautiful smoke billowing out of that Weber, and it's
Yes,
glorious.
Yes, I have a kettle, a Weber kettle there.
It's very
it's
very
the-
nice.
It's the big one, the biggest one you can get from them, which is I think the 32 or 30 inch or whatever. I don't know, it's not
Nice.
that huge, but
No, but
yeah,
it's
it works
adequate.
really well. But you have to do what's called I think it's called a snake, which you snake the charcoal. So you take the outside and you pile them about 3 to 4 high all the way around the outside of it, and then you put on top of that apple wood is what I put every couple of inches, and then you start a couple coals, pour them on the very end of the snake, and then close your vents down, and it burns throughout the entire thing all the way around it. So it works really, really well. But I think it's it's called a snake because it looks like a snake, and it also, if you don't watch it, it'll bite you.
Ah. Guys, speaking of food, have you guys been doing delivery through this whole thing, like takeout and
No.
delivery?
No.
No, okay, and neither have we. But
we've gone once. We went out and got pickup, like takeout.
yeah, I was
I've
gonna say
gotten-
I think
I've
we've
gotten
done a couple
Papa's and
times.
beer in Greenville a few times,
Nice.
but
What-
that's pretty much it.
What is that?
Papa's and Beer is a Mexican restaurant here in town. They have the best Mexican food in my opinion.
Yeah.
Their beef, their steak is marinated and it's perfect.
Ooh,
Mm.
that does.
So I've
sound
got I wanted to get on the takeout talk here because I also want to talk about another project I really want to do because Ozzy I'm sure has input on it.
Okay,
uh,
I got input.
Like I want to do a fire pit, but not just any fire pit. I want a fire pit that I can grill meat over.
Okay.
Like I'm thinking one of those triangular three
Okay.
three
okay,
rods with the grill grate hanging from the middle.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, just a thought. Think about
are
that
you-
for next week.
Are you? Oh well, I got.
Oh, you got
opinions
input now? Okay,
I
okay.
got opinions now.
Okay, okay.
I do. So we bought a fire pit from
Okay.
a guy down in Georgia that makes them out of propane tanks.
All right.
So basically they cut the end off the propane tank, and these are the large tanks because ours is 30 inches
Gotcha.
wide. They had bigger ones. We didn't get the bigger one. I think they went all the way up to 47 inches, which was ginormous.
Oh, I bet.
So we went with the 30-incher. It's quarter inch steel. So it's got a little cutout in the bottom. But if you go with the right place, you can actually find grates to be on right size grates for that. I went to and I haven't done it yet, but I did get one for my Weber grill.
Nice.
From it's called Big Papa Smokers.
Okay.
And they
Oh,
have
I've run
these
across them before.
super thick stainless steel grates, and
Interesting.
they are like the Weber grates are okay, but this puts those to shame. I'm just saying.
Right.
Anyway, so I'm gonna eventually see if they have one that's large enough for that. But if you got somebody who knows how to weld, you can
I
make the
do.
rest of that. You can make the poles and stuff.
Right.
Right. But that's what I would do is look and see if there's a place that has some type of pit that sells around you that they make them out of
Okay.
something, or just see if you
I
can
was thinking about doing a brick pit.
find somebody.
I was
mean,
thinking
you
about
could do
doing a
that
brick
too.
pit
You
because
could
we
do
don't
that
have
too.
any of
That
those
would-
silly laws that tell us what kind of pit we have to have.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. See, I don't, so
We
I
do,
can
which
do
is
whatever I want.
ridiculous, but whatever.
I was thinking just doing some sand and gravel in the bottom of that sucker, and
That's a good idea
and-
too.
and
That was
then,
the other thing I was looking into is doing that. You could do it all out of brick. Brick is fine.
Right.
That works really well. You could also do them out of like pavers,
pretty
not pavers
landscaping, yeah,
specifically,
pretty
right,
landscaping
like
rocks,
landscaping stuff, yeah. So
So pivoting back to the takeout and all that stuff, DoorDash guys, record profits.
bet.
On the backs of restaurants though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, aren't
yeah.
restaurants basically having to discount their
So
food?
So I'm not sure exactly how everything is working out with DoorDash and stuff. I know that they are charging a lot, but they're also charging like DoorDash is listing prices wrong, like incorrect low prices. Like one pizza company was saying that a pizza he charged $24 for was listed at $16 by DoorDash.
Wow.
And
well,
so
that's because they had read his menu wrong. I read that article.
was
It's
it
actually
because
really
they read the
interesting.
menu wrong?
Yeah.
Or is
But
it
it's-
because they're cutting the prices in order to try to get customers?
I don't. From my reading, it ended up being like a web scraper problem where they had misread the menu based on the way it was formatted on his website. Because it doesn't really help them to undercut by that much because they don't want to undercut the restaurant.
Right.
So he was charging them the correct amount. It's just they were billing the wrong amount. Does that make sense?
Okay, interesting.
It looked hinky, but it was less hinky.
Because
on
I guess that's my
examination than if
question.
you were-
Like, I mean, I know
the
these.
restaurant guy was still getting all his money.
Like, I know there's been some local restaurants who we don't have DoorDash, but I know some other large towns that have DoorDash, and they're not using them because of the upcharge.
I'm sure.
And they're actually starting their own delivery services in-house.
Yes.
Which has its own set of complications because you have to have insurance, you have to have drug tests, you have to have everything else in order to make sure that these, background checks to make sure these people delivering pizzas aren't, creepers, which I mean, yeah.
Do you get food delivered ever?
Remember, I'm a half mile from my nearest neighbor, so no.
I
don't.
I am too
We
cheap
don't.
to get delivery.
There's no point. It's faster for us to just go get it.
I'm too cheap. I don't want to tip somebody for delivering something that I could just go and drive to the restaurant.
We had in Vermont. I've never lived anywhere where I could really get delivery, but in Vermont we lived in a town called Cornwall, Vermont, which was like 3 miles outside of Middlebury, and we had this pizza place that would deliver what was it, 3 miles away from the place, and we were 3.1.
Oh, that's.
And I tried to get them to deliver a couple times, and they just refused. They're like, if we do it for one, we have to do it for others. And I'm like, but what if I meet you at the fire station, like right up the road?
Now that brings up an interesting concept of, how Domino's before this, they would do the delivery to like all of the random places. Like you could be in the middle of a park.
Oh, that's right. Are they still doing
Remember
that?
I don't know. I would assume so, but I'm not sure.
I mean, because I randomly want to be sitting somewhere like in a parking lot or just order a Domino's pizza now.
Yeah.
I just think that'd be cool. I'm like, I'm randomly right here. Bring it to me.
Yeah.
What if you move while you're ordering? Like, do they track your GPS?
I don't think so. I think you have to have it's on their app and you have to select a specific spot. I think is how that works.
Okay.
But again, I'm too cheap to do that. So.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't know. I'm
not 100% on this. If you know, let us know. But,
I'm super curious about that. That's fascinating. I don't know. I think the DoorDash thing is something to obviously keep an eye on, the delivery services.
Yeah.
Watch what you're doing and see if it's not helping out a business if you're if they're just, screwing the business. Because I know that they're charging the business ultimately on the back end of that.
Right. Well, a lot of those places have the free delivery.
Right.
So that's what's know,
right.
Like Domino's offers free
Domino's. I
delivery
think
and everything else.
What is it? John.
Well, I guess they have their
not
own
Papa
deliveries,
John's.
but
Yeah, Papa John's maybe.
A lot of the places that don't normally deliver still have free delivery.
Right.
Through Uber Eats or whatever else.
Right.
DoorDash, Grubhub.
Grubhub and DoorDash.
I don't know.
As I said, I've never used those two. I've Ubered once. I've DoorDashed 0 times.
I've used Uber a couple times. We used that in New York. That's outside the city, not inside the city, because I don't want to pay. We're cheap. What can I say?
Yeah, no, us too. Kind of ridiculous. So I don't know. Crazy times, guys. That's it for today.
All right.
We've accomplished what we set out to do. We figured out that in order to stream, we have to click stream before we start recording. Otherwise, it doesn't work. What else have we figured out today? We figured out that our audience is awesome, and that for some reason, when we're on YouTube, we also end up soliciting the voices of very strange individuals.
Yes, indeed.
So,
yes, that's all right.
Like, I don't know where those random comments came from. That I'm fascinated by that, but I was able to block that person permanently. So if you're listening and would like to file a complaint, email that to the circular file at thefrontporchshow.com, and we might unblock you.
Wow.
www.thefrontporchshow.com. You can listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, anywhere else you like to get your online content, including YouTube. And sometimes if I upload it to Facebook, it's on Facebook too. We'll catch you later, guys. Bye-bye. There's supposed to be an E on that, Ozzy. An E on that. You can't just say bye, ma. No. You're impossible. Later.